Welcome, everyone. My name is Alan Sweitz. I will be your host for tonight, and don't worry if you don't understand my name. I myself don't understand it really. Just for those who've been here for the first time, brief introduction about the Brahma Kumaris. So we're a worldwide organization. We have several thousand centers across the world, and we're teaching Raj Yoga meditation, which is focused on meditation, self-development, and we are sort of giving different courses in that area, like anger management, self-development, these sort of things. And if you would like any more, we will. I will announce some of these the places where you can find more information at the end of the show. So, just to be aware, like I mentioned, this program is being filmed. You might or might not see some photograph being taken. If you don't like your photograph being taken, just let the photographer know about that. Okay. So this theme, tonight's event, is all about silence. And to be honest, silence has played a major part in my own life. And so I really look forward to tonight's event. And for that, I would like to invite Sister Janki onto the stage, as she will give us an introduction into tonight's theme of silence. Now, Sister Janki is a real globetrotter in the true sense of the word. I've never, ever seen someone travel as much as she did. She's a well-sought-after speaker, and so she travels all over the world. She just, this year alone, had a whole tour of Asia, a whole tour of South America, and I don't think she stayed at any one place more than a few days this whole year. So I would like to give a big hand to Sister Janki. Thank you.
Om Shanti. It's wonderful getting a response of Om Shanti from you, so you're obviously aware of what it means. And I hope tonight you'll also carry away the feeling of Om Shanti. And the words literally mean Om, I am the inner being. And my original state of being is silence, is peace. It's interesting that in the English language, silence and peace are two separate words. And in the Hindi language, which is actually a very, very wide vocabulary, like, for example, the word for love, there's 5 different words for love, but yet Shanti means both silence and peace. So in the West we've separated these terms, but in fact the essence of the inner being is silence and is also peace. The silence in Raj Yoga is not an enforced silence. It's a very natural state of silence, in the sense that when we begin to meditate, we're not forcing our mind to have no thoughts. But yet, as you move your mind in a very specific direction towards the understanding of the inner being, coming to the awareness of the qualities of the inner being, connecting with the divine, thinking about our relationship, thinking about the qualities of the divine, what you find is that the speed of thoughts automatically slows down. And as a result of that, the pauses between the thoughts grow longer and longer, and in those pauses is the experience of peace, the experience of silence. And even as you're walking and talking and moving along, You may be engaged in all sorts of things, but if you just take a moment to go inwards and connect with the inner being, once you do that and you become aware of what that feeling is, then you find that turning inwards also, there's very, very few thoughts. The mind has become very quiet and still. And for me, that's one of the practices that enables me to generate enough energy to do all the things that need to be done within a single day. Our day starts very early. Do you know what time we begin? The doors of this house are open very early. And people come from nearby places for 4 o'clock meditation, 4 a.m. And after that, the doors are open through till the night. And so the day starts from the morning, very early, pre-dawn, and it's a very rich and full day. Before I joined the Brahma Kumaris, I thought being a yogi meant sitting in a corner and meditating. Well, let me tell you, that's the furthest from the truth that I've experienced. It's been a life of much activity, a life filled with great joy and the beauty of many, many relationships and interactions, a life of great learning. And so the silence in Raj Yoga is a little bit different to what most people imagine. Silence is the way in which we're able to get to know ourselves. If I don't have the possibility of my own inner dialogue, how am I going to know myself? If I'm crazy, I talk to myself, but I don't know that I'm talking to myself. But if I'm very wise, I'm talking to myself, and I know I'm talking to myself. And so in silence, there's also that inner dialogue in which I get to know myself more and more. In silence, I'm able not just to connect with the divine, but I'm also able to see what it is the divine wants to communicate with me. And in times of emergencies, when your mobile phone definitely won't work, your landlines also will not work, especially in those moments, and that can happen anytime, anywhere in the world, in the present circumstances. We really just don't know what's happening anymore. Can't predict. And so especially in those moments, and the preparation for those moments is now. To be able to connect and let the mind become quiet and still, and in silence to know that yes, it is a signal that's reaching me from above. It isn't just my own mind, but it's definitely something that's coming from above, that's giving me guidance, where to go, what to do, how to do it. In silence, I'm able to understand the depth and the meaning of what's going on in my own world. Without that space of silence, I'm never going to know. You know how when people get very busy, then you just move from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and then you ask yourself, well, what's all this about? Why am I doing all of this? There's a reason, but I'm not in touch with it. I'm not aware of it. And yes, busy is not the issue, but what's going on in here is the question. And so I can be busy doing things, but if I take a moment to pause and go inside, in that moment I'm able to understand things from a deeper perspective than I would have otherwise. There used to be very natural spaces of silence within our timetable. Most days people used to begin very quietly with a cup of tea, time of reflection, maybe even a time for prayer. Through the day, when you would finish one thing and you would wait for the next person to come in, or you would finish somewhere and you'd walk to the next place, that would automatically be a time in which you were with yourself, and probably, again, very organically, naturally, you would be processing what had just been accomplished and what was the preparation needed for the next step, the next appointment, the next person, the next meeting. And we've even managed to eliminate those moments of quiet. Why? Because our mobiles are in our hand and we're constantly checking and seeing what's going on. And so the moment that I used to have between one thing and the next, that moment's gone also. And so literally there's no time to process. In silence, when I give myself that space to understand more deeply what's going on, I understand things from a deeper perspective, something that makes life more meaningful. And my input into the next step is also going to be something that's probably greater and worthwhile. So it's time to bring back silence into our lives and create those spaces for silence and time for ourselves, for the recharging of our own inner batteries. Let's experiment with our silence now, just turning inwards and coming to the awareness of that inner being. And Jonathan has been sharing very beautifully, and so I'm going to ask Jonathan to share some music again, creating the foundation for our silence together. As Dadi makes her way to the stage, Alan gave you a brief introduction, and my good fortune has been to have known Dadi since I was a child. I don't think there are many children in the audience here today, but we do have a children's class and I love it, and I'm seeing one child. But yes, I came as a child and met Dadi, and today Dadi's over 100 years, and has managed to make the journey from India the second time this year. So we are very, very fortunate. And 80 years of that life has been spent as a meditator. Now, just that is a statistic worth remembering. 80 years of meditation. And Dadi has served the world, literally traveled across to, I think, around 100 countries or so, sharing the message of peace, sharing the message of truth. Dadi made the journey to London this year now, simply because she knew that there are so many people who are thirsty for peace and want to experience silence and peace. And we know that when there's a powerful yogi, then they can connect us in a very, very gentle and natural way with the One Above. So my hope is that as we meditate in her presence, you'll also experience the presence of the Divine, and you will feel how easy and natural it is to have that connection. And the format for the next little while is going to be the opportunity for myself to ask Dadi some questions. And each question is actually a trigger for Dadi's reflections on the self, the relationship with the Divine, and the connection of silence in the world. But also we'll have short interludes of silence with music so that then we can experiment with meditation as we go through the evening. Dadi'd like to share a few thoughts first before the questions. Dadi will speak in Hindi, and some of you will catch the vibrations, some of you will catch the words, but I'll also translate.
आपने क्या बोला?
मैंने बताया है कि दादी हिंदी में बोलेंगी, परंतु कई लोग तो आपके वाइब्रेशंस द्वारा भी समझ जाते हैं.
तो आप ट्रांसलेट करें.
जी.
Light.
Can we have the house lights on, please? Better.
तीन बारी मैं ओम शांति कहती हूँ.
I say Om Shanti 3 times.
ओम शांति. ओम शांति. ओम शांति. Wonderful. साइलेंस में बैठे हैं, पर जब मुख से ओम शांति निकलती है तो यहाँ साइलेंस बहुत अच्छी लगती है.
We were sitting in silence, but when we say Om Shanti in words, then the feeling that we get inside is a very lovely one.
ये दिल है.
We have the heart,
ये दिमाग है.
we have our head,
ये मुको दिल में कोई भी खिचपिच वाली बात नहीं.
let there be nothing of any conflict in the heart.
आज के दिन आप लोगों को यहाँ देख
Today,
मेरे को
seeing you all here,
इतनी खुशी हुई है. ये आज की खुशी है. आपको सारी जीवन में इतना फायदा देंगे.
today I'm very happy seeing all of you, and my hope is that you'll experience such happiness that you've never experienced before.
जब मैंने देखा साइलेंस तो सारी लाइफ ये लाइफ आज 80 इयर्स हुआ है.
Throughout my life, there's been the experience of silence,
थोड़ा
and in 80 years, there's been the
करना
practice
चाहते हैं.
of speaking less and doing more.
क्या करते हैं?
What do we do?
मुस्कुराते हैं.
We smile.
मैं कौन हूँ? मैं कौन हूँ?
Who am I?
आत्मा.
I am a soul.
ये शरीर में मैं आत्मा. मेरा बाप है परमात्मा. वंडर है.
I'm a soul and my parent is God.
पहले मुझे था तो मेरा भाग्य है जो भगवान मुझे शांत में रहने का जैसे वरदान दिया.
It's as if from the moment of birth I received a blessing from God to be silent and peaceful.
69 में ब्रह्मा बाबा ने ये अव्यक्त हुआ.
In 1969, Brahma Baba, the founder, left the physical world.
परंतु उसमें बाबा में अभी भले अव्यक्त हुआ है, परंतु हमको शांति क्या चीज है वो अपने आप बिगर मांगे देता है.
And from the subtle region, he still gives us the experience of peace. We don't have to ask for peace, but we receive that experience.
मैंने कभी मांगा नहीं है.
I've never asked for anything.
कुछ नहीं मांगा.
Nothing.
क्या करेंगे?
What do I need?
दाल रोटी खाना और सब ये देख.
It's enough to have a very
कौन हो किसके हो?
to have a very simple meal of chapati and lentil soup, and yes,
मेरी ये भावना है
to
तो
meet
आपको
all of
बताता
you.
रहा. मैं कौन मेरा कौन?
What I'd like you to know tonight is who am I and who is
जब
mine.
कहती हूँ ना आत्मा हूँ.
When I say I mean I, the inner being, the soul.
ये शरीर में आत्मा क्या कर रही है?
What is the soul doing in the body?
शांत में.
It's sitting peacefully.
जितना शांति में रहो उतना सूक्ष्म कहाँ पर भी है वाइब्रेशन जाते हैं.
Wherever you may be, Stay in silence, stay in peace, and those vibrations will travel everywhere.
जैसे कहीं बाबा के मैं बाबा की कहीं ना तुमको सपनों में आई तो सपनों में भी सेवा होती है क्या?
Many of the spiritual families say, I come to them in their dreams. Is it possible to serve through dreams?
होती है.
Is it possible?
सपनों में सेवा होती है क्या?
Serving through dreams?
जिसको ये अनुभव हाथ उठाओ.
Who's had that experience of having angels come to them in dreams?
क्यों मैं कौन मेरा कौन?
Who am I? Who is mine?
सर्वशक्तिवान बाबा.
The Almighty Authority Father is my Father.
तो साइलेंस में शक्ति.
In silence we draw that power.
यानी एनर्जी.
Energy.
बनती है नेचुरल.
Our energy increases naturally.
अच्छा आप वैसे क्या पूछना चाहते हो? हाँ.
Dadi's asking, what did you want to ask?
हाँ. ये सभी कौन है जो इंग्लिश वो हिंदी नहीं समझते?
Dadi's curious to see who doesn't understand the Hindi language.
हाँ. इतने हैं. अच्छा. अच्छा. ठीक है.
Thank you.
हाँ.
Dadi,
हाँ.
पहला प्रश्न.
हाँ.
Silence. Silence ने आपको कैसे खुद को समझने में सहयोग दिया और अपने जीवन का लक्ष्य समझने में क्या प्राप्ति हुई और परिवर्तन कैसे आया? जानना और जीवन का लक्ष्य समझना और परिवर्तन लाना साइलेंस से. How has silence helped you to understand and know yourself, to find the meaning and purpose of your life and to bring deep transformation in yourself?
Silence is best.
As I was coming down to the auditorium, I know that you were all sitting in silence, hearing the music.
मैं बस साइलेंस में वास्तव में कोई बोलने की बात ही नहीं है.
And in fact, in silence, we don't need to be speaking so much.
दिल कहे शुक्रिया उस परमात्मा बाप का.
The heart says thanks to the one who's up above.
जो हमको अपना बना के उसने
Because he has made us belong to him
क्या ने क्या कहा.
and has brought about transformation.
बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है बहुत.
So no need to say too much.
परंतु ये जो दृष्टि है ना,
Through our eyes, through our vision,
वो सबको अच्छी लगती है मेरे को देने में.
we're able to give a good experience to each one.
सारी लाइफ में से परंतु साइलेंस में ही अनुभव किया.
Throughout my life, it's silence that has brought me deep experiences.
कौन है जो आज पहला बार यहाँ आए?
Who's here in this house for the first time? Dadi had it back to you when the question was asked earlier. Just raise your hands.
पहला बार. हाँ.
Thank you.
देखो जब साइलेंस कहते हैं ना,
When there's silence, there's a feeling of blessings.
ये 5 अंगुली है ना,
We have 5 fingers.
बराबर नहीं है.
They're not the same.
ये छोटी है, ये मोटी है.
The little one, the fat one.
ये छोटी क्या काम है?
What will the little finger do?
सभी को खींचती है.
It pulls everyone into cooperation.
ये और चार है ना वो शांत रहते हैं.
And the other four remain silent.
ये छोटी है परंतु ऐसे है.
It's a symbol for cooperation and good wishes.
दूसरी होती है ये अंगुली है.
Then there's the ring finger.
हमेशा टीका लगाते हैं
And
इस अंगुली से.
when someone puts the tilak on the forehead, the anointing, that's with that finger.
टीका यहाँ क्यों लगाते हैं?
Why do they put this mark on the forehead?
और यहाँ नहीं लगाया यहाँ क्यों?
Not on the cheeks, but in the forehead.
निश्चय में विजय हुई है तो नशा है.
It's the location of the soul, and it
ये
reminds
विजय की
us
निशानी.
that when there's faith, there's victory, and this finger also gives the
ये कौन बैठा? सुनील बैठा है.
dot of victory.
अच्छा ये जन्म से जानता है.
The brother who's sitting right in the front knows Dadi
I
from the
wonder.
time he was born.
इसको साइलेंस का अनुभव है.
And he's had many experiences of silence.
ठीक है ठीक है सभी को उठ के बता. हाँ
Daddy wants him to show his face to everyone.
ये अच्छा क्योंकि ये बता बेटे ये है बीच की
The middle finger
परंतु विजडम की निशानी.
is a symbol of wisdom.
देखो तीन हो गए मिल गए आपस.
And when the three fingers come
जब ये
together,
मिलाना
it's
से
W.
जब ये मिलाना तो तीनों चारों
The first finger points upwards to the divine.
बराबर नहीं है.
And
छोटी
so-
मोटी है छोटी है और मोटी है
And so again, different size completely.
परंतु ये जो शांत है ना ये जो तन में क्या है आत्मा में क्या है मन बुद्धि संस्कार आत्मा क्या है.
In silence, we discover what there is within the soul. And yes, we understand body is separate, soul is separate, and in the soul is the mind,
मन
the intellect, the capacity to understand, and the imprints of our experiences.
तो साइलेंस का हो या शांति है.
Whether you say silence or whether you say peace, we understand all of this through that.
तो शांत रहने से
And by remaining
मन
peaceful,
में कोई भी क्रोध की अंश या लोभ या मोह नहीं होता है. बेचारे साइलेंस की पावर लोभ मोह ये
in silence, when we go inside, we're able to eliminate all aspects of anger, of greed, of attachment, of all these negative feelings.
आपने कहा तुमने कैसे साइलेंस का फायदा लिया. तो एक तो अपने में सभी तो अपना पोषण करेंगे पर मैं क्या हूँ अंतर्मुखी सदा सुखी.
In silence, we're able to go inside and through introversion experience constant happiness.
अब समझे तो अंतर्मुखी होना माना
What does it mean to be introverted?
अपने आप को अंदर ही अंदर
To go deep within the self,
परमात्मा से कनेक्शन होने की का
to have a connection with the divine.
एक मिला है बाबा
We found that
वो
one.
एक है
that one is one.
ये चारों को मिलकर गए तो चारों, परंतु एक में से होने से लाइफ बड़ी वैल्यू का पता चला.
When there's a connection with one, all the other fingers come together and our life becomes very valuable.
अभी श्वास चल रहा है ना.
I know I'm breathing very heavily,
कोई संकल्प नहीं.
but I'm not worried about it.
दिल कहता है,
And the heart says,
मेरी दिल कहता है,
my heart says,
आप सभी कोई भी रह न जावे.
everyone should have an experience
Silence
of
में
silence. No one should be left out.
कईयों को कुछ पढ़ना होता है, फलाना होता है. मेरे को ये भी कभी कोई बुक हाथ में नहीं देखेगी.
Sometimes people need to read something to experience silence, but I don't hold a book in my hand to experience silence.
लिखना पढ़ना,
I don't read and write too much anymore.
सारी विश्व की सेवा भाग्य से चांस मिला.
I've had the fortune of serving the world
74 से
from 1974
मैं यहाँ
onwards.
लंदन आई हूँ.
I stayed here in London,
फिर कहाँ से कहाँ,
and from one place
यानी
to
यहाँ
another
बैठे हो
place.
ना, ऐसा हाल विश्व में कहाँ नहीं.
And this is a very special place in the whole world, a place where we all gather together in silence.
शांति के आधार से ये बना है.
It was created on the basis of silence.
और मिल करके देख रहे हैं. भगवान मेरा साथी है.
My experience is that God is my companion,
और नॉलेज जो बाप ने दी है हमको, उसमें सिर्फ साक्षी हो करके देखना बोलना अच्छा लगता है.
on the basis of the spiritual knowledge that we've received, it becomes easy to be a detached observer and see things in that awareness, speak in that awareness, and do whatever is needed.
आपका मतलब है
अभी थोड़ा साइलेंस का अनुभव कराएं 5 मिनट के लिए.
भले कराओ, परंतु पहले बताओ थोड़ा. तो साइलेंस में जब तक फायदा लेने का अक्ल नहीं है तो नकल भी नहीं कर सकते.
I was suggesting to Dadi, should we have a few minutes of experiment of silence with Jonathan sharing music, and she's saying
मेरे
that
को भाषा कोई कईयों को पता है मैं सिंधु की हूँ, पर सिंधी नहीं बोलेंगे. पर हिंदी
Daddy was saying earlier
जैसे
that it's important to know what to
कई
do
भाई कई
in
शहरों में
silence.
कई होंगे तो हम ऐसे ऐसे करके भाषा उनकी ये नहीं थी.
When I speak in Hindi, I don't speak in the language of the region that I was born in. I speak Hindi. And so often I found that people were understanding and nodding their heads without understanding the words.
आपने हमारी बात को समझा है.
I would ask them, did you understand? and they would nod their head
भले भाषा नहीं जानते
without understanding the language.
परंतु सूक्ष्म
Because on a subtle
साइलेंस
level,
में है
the power of
हम सब
silence
एक के है एक
would give them the experience that we are one and we belong to one.
तो ये एकता देखो ऐसे नहीं होगा
And so coming together in silence,
ये जो अंगुली है ना वो शांत
the one above, this finger points upwards and
Mano
reminds us to be
shanta.
quiet, silent.
बुद्धि हो श्रेष्ठ
Let my mind be peaceful, my intellect be
यानी
elevated.
मन शांत है तो बुद्धि क्या करे
When the mind is quiet, what will the intellect do?
क्योंकि ये परमात्मा बाप ने ऐसा सिखाया है तुम अंतर्मुखी होकर के कभी भी डोलायमान और चलायमान
God teaches us, stay introverted so that nothing shakes you, nothing creates disturbance,
एक है चलायमान
that you're not attracted by anything.
बस से अच्छा है मेरे को चाहिए
And the thought that I'd like this.
डोलायमान नहीं होना
So not to be attracted.
है ना एक डोलायमान जो है ना शांत रहने नहीं देता
If I'm pulled by other things, I can't stay peaceful.
पर कर्म भी करूं शांत भी रहूं
Let me be able to do action and yet stay peaceful
ये है
inside.
राजयोग
This is Raj Yoga.
और क्या
योग करें 5 मिनट
योग करने में
5 मिनट जी
भले मैं ऐसे बैठती हूँ
जी
शांत में
दूसरा प्रश्न पूछूं? Did everybody enjoy the silence?
Time, money, energy. बहुत अच्छा कैसे यूज करें वो साइलेंस.
In silence, I've learned how to use time, money, and energy in a worthwhile way.
ये जो टाइम है ये
This time
उससे कनेक्शन, रिलेशन, कम्युनिकेशन.
is one in which we can have a relationship and a connection and communication with the divine.
अनेक कार्य वो कराता है.
And then he's able to do many different tasks.
ये मेरा प्रैक्टिकल आंखों देखा
This is what I've seen with my eyes,
अनुभव.
my experience.
परमात्मा बाप मेरे को माता पिता शिक्षक सतगुरु, परंतु मुझे सखा रूप में उसने बहुत अच्छा फायदा दिया.
My experience has been of God as my mother, my father, my teacher, my guide, but most of all, my friend. He has given me such comfort through the connection of a friend.
अब आपको पता है ना, सखा रूप में करता वो है. मुझे कह तो शांत करके बैठ.
As my friend, he tells me, I'll do everything, but you just sit there quietly.
जो बात पुरानी चाहे पर आई यूज नहीं है.
Don't think about the things that don't belong to you. Don't think about the things that are of the past.
हाथ लगाओ. कितने साइलेंस में रहने से शांति की शक्ति, शांत रहने की शक्ति ऑटोमेटिक काम करेगा.
In silence, the power of peace is able to work automatically. That is answering the second question, which I haven't asked her, but she's already answering it. How do you connect and communicate with God in silence? How do you know that He's listening?
बहुत न्यारा है.
This period of time that we are passing through is a very special one. It's unique and very lovely.
ठीक है, ठीक है.
Is that right?
समझो 74 से विदेश साइलेंस की पावर से सेवा हुई है.
Since Dadi came abroad, since that time she's been using the power of silence, and the power of silence serves the world.
साइलेंस में रहने से करावनहार करा रहा है.
The power of silence allows the one above to do what he needs to do.
पता इजी है ना.
It's easy. साइलेंस की शक्ति से आप कैसे विश्व की सेवा करते? How does Dadi use the power of silence to serve the world?
दृष्टि, वृत्ति,
Through our eyes, our attitude,
वृत्ति में सबके लिए
good wishes, good feelings for all,
अंदर प्यार है।
love for all.
ये जो समय है, जितना साइलेंस में रहेंगे,
In this period of time, however much we spend our time in silence,
इसमें मेरा अनुभव ये कहता है,
my experience tells me,
सहज मिले तो दूध बराबर,
then everything happens very easily. It's said in
मांग लिया तो
India
पानी।
that if things happen easily and naturally, it's like milk flowing.
कितना अच्छा है।
If you ask for something, it's like water.
ऐसे है।
Is that right?
और कुछ मैं ऐसे ही बाबा के टच हैं, बाबा के जहाँ जिस शहर में गई होंगे, जहाँ भी वहाँ बाबा के बच्चे, तो मैं एक बारी प्रकाश बनी दादी को मैंने कहा ये सब तभी तो 15-20 लोग थे। एक कैसे निकल का कल पहले इन्होंने पाया, अभी वो याद दिला रहे हैं।
The power of silence enabled me to go to different places where I didn't know anyone, but people would emerge, people who were touched by silence, and they would come forward to support and help and work together. And at one point of time, very early on, there was about 15-20 people from abroad who were with us in Abu, and Dadi Prakashmani, the lady who was the head of the organization at that time, said to me, these souls have been touched and something is there latent within them that has emerged through the power of silence. There's something there that's hidden that then is awoken through silence.
दो शब्दों में बताने, कर्म जो भी है बलवान।
Actions are very powerful.
तो साइलेंस में जो रह करके सिर्फ लव हो सच्चा और राइट काम जो है सो करना है।
When there's pure love and the thought of doing the right action,
बाकी जिसकी जरूरत नहीं है काम है, अपने आप हम फ्री हो जाते हैं।
then that determined thought ensures that we become free from anything that is wasteful in our life.
तो कर्म बड़ा बलवान है, परंतु परमात्मा सर्वशक्तिवान है।
So actions are powerful, but God is the almighty authority, the all-powerful.
वो हमारे शिक्षक भी शिक्षा देने में, पर साथ साथ हमारी छत्र छाया के नीचे रहने की
He
पता
teaches
नहीं गिफ्ट
us,
मिली है।
but He also shows us how to stay under the canopy of protection. And this has been the gift I've
आप
experienced.
कहते हैं तो प्रकाश बहन दादी ने मुझे एक ही बारी जब आई थी ना, जब ये कहा ना, ये सब पहले थे, बीच में मायावश हो गए, खाना पीना पहनना घूमना फिरना बस इनके सुबह शांत रहने की फुर्सत ही नहीं है.
Dadi Prakash Mani had commented at one time that what happens is that when we forget the inner being, then we get caught up in all the things that are outside, the eating, the drinking, the traveling and all of those things, and we forget to connect with ourselves in silence.
मेरे को जो भी शहर में गई होंगी, जैसे कोई पहले से ही बैठा है.
When I've travelled, then I've felt as if there were people there ready, prepared already, waiting for me.
तो हमारी दृष्टि वृत्ति नेचुरल है. जितना वो खींचते हैं.
And through the vision, through the attitude, one could feel that connection of belonging and the feeling that they were benefiting.
तो ऐसे शांत में रहने के.
And all that happened through silence.
तो फर्स्ट क्लास.
And
ये अंगुली और ये.
So when I and the one above both come together, everything is first class.
ये दृढ़ संकल्प है.
This is the determined thought of I.
करना ही है.
I have to do it.
ये दोनों मिल गए.
And then the power of God,
वो मेरे साथी है ना.
because He is my companion,
कहीं का है वो करता है.
then He's the one who achieves, who enables us to achieve so much.
सिर्फ इस ये अंगुली को ऐसे उल्टा नहीं.
Spin the awareness of the eternal in the right way, not the other way, not the opposite
मैं
way.
देख रहे हैं. सभी को पता है ना. ये स्वदर्शन चक्र है.
They say that there's a discus that you spin, and it's a discus of self-realization, being able to see the self through the passage of time.
मैं समझती हूँ आज का दिन बड़ा महान है.
Today, this is a very special day.
जहाँ सर्वशक्तिवान बाबा,
a day in which you can experience the divine.
भगवान के तुम मेरा है.
A day to experience God telling you, you belong to me, so that you feel the happiness of that.
बस है. और क्या? पहले 2 मिनट.
Let's have a few minutes of silence again.
कोई को भाई चाहे बहन से या आज के दिन क्या पाया.
Does anyone want to share, either a sister or a brother, what it is they've taken this evening?
जो व्यर्थ है वो समाप्त.
With the power of silence, let there be the end to anything that is wasteful.
जो समर्थ संकल्प है.
And keep whatever is powerful with the self.
तेरे पाने सर्व का भला निमित्त बनो.
And
सबका भला.
when I decide to ascend and move forward in my own life, there's benefit for everyone around me.
आपको भी कितना साल हुआ है? अभी क्या उम्र है?
No secrets here. Dadi's asking, how long have you been doing this and what is your age? No problem, I'm 67 and I've been doing this for 48 years.
ये किसने टॉपिक रखी है बनाई?
Who selected this topic? Bhavna? It's a team. There's a creative team that puts together the design for the programs. दादी सारा ग्रुप है. ग्रुप है जो बैठता है. ग्रुप है जो बैठता है डिसाइड करने के लिए. उसमें मोरीन है, विनेश भी है, मिनल भी है.
ठीक है, परंतु जैसे सभी हमारे फ्रेंड्स हैं.
I feel that all of you are my friends.
कोई भी बहन है चाहे भाई है, पहले भाई थोड़े होते थे.
Sisters or brothers, in the early days when we used to have meditation gatherings, there were more sisters than brothers.
अभी कई है जो युगल है, परंतु बाबा का बच्चा.
Now we find that brothers come with the sisters, husbands and wives come together.
ट्रस्ट योग है.
And they live at home in the household, but they live as trustees of the divine, holding everything in trust as stewards.
अंदर में सच्चाई,
Let there be honesty inside,
प्रेम,
love.
अपने ऊपर भी बहुत अच्छा यूज होता है. निमित्त हमारे
Use that for yourself. And then as you use that love for yourself, then you're also able to give love to others.
ये भावना से कोई सेंटर था पुराना, वहाँ मैं थोड़ा मिल करके जा रही थी, तो उसने कहा तुम भाषण दी नहीं जा रही हो, तो भावना है भाषण देने.
I'd visited one of our centers, and the sister there said to me that you've been so busy that you haven't given us a feeling of your presence. And so I've now understood I have to hold the intention of giving others the experience of my presence.
सुनो, कई आत्माएं ऐसी है जैसे बीती बात भुला नहीं सकते हैं.
Sometimes there are people who can't forget the past.
बार बार याद करते.
They keep remembering it again and again.
ये नहीं करो.
Don't let that happen.
जो बीती
Whatever is past, it's over.
आगे के लिए भी कोई आशा नहीं रखनी है.
And for the future, don't have any desires.
इच्छा मात्र अविद्या.
Let there be a stage in which you're ignorant of what it is to have desire.
तो क्या होता है, मेरा बाबा देख रहा है ये बच्चा.
And the one above is going to see that yes, this child of mine
वो खुश होता है ना,
is on the right track and he's
मेरे से
happy.
ऑटोमेटिक वंडरफुल.
And when I'm on the right track and he's pleased with me, everything is wonderful.
ज्ञान योग दान सेवा, सेवा चौथा नंबर है. तो हमारा ये आज के दिन
There are 4 subjects that we give attention
आपको
to:
मैं गिफ्ट देती हूँ.
the study of knowledge, the practice of meditation, the application of these truths in
पहला
life,
ज्ञान है.
and service. So carry these away as
ज्ञान
a
से
gift.
योग ऊपर.
First, there's knowledge, the understanding with which to be able to have silence and yoga.
तो जैसे कि मुक्ति और जीवन मुक्ति, पुरानी बातें कोई भी है.
So tonight, let there be the experience of liberation from all the things that are old and of the past.
जीवन में है प्रमुखता.
Life, but a life free from all bondage.
ये समझाना सभी ने.
Did everyone understand?
कोई भी हमारे से गलती हुई बाबा ने माफ किया, या हमने अपने आप को परिवर्तन लाने के लिए संकल्प रखा, तो बाबा की शक्ति भी बहुत काम किया।
Even if one makes a mistake, one can seek forgiveness from God, and yes, with determined thought and realization, bring about transformation.
ठीक है, बस थोड़ी
Silence. अभी साइलेंस में बैठे 5 मिनट. 5 मिनट साइलेंस में बैठे.
बहुत अच्छा.
Let's have another few minutes of silence.
I hate to break this silence, but wasn't that amazing? At 100 years old, yet all the energy with this frail body. If I have a little bit of discomfort, all I think is go to bed and sleep. Yet she has all that energy and just want to meet everybody. Just thank you, Daddy. And of course, thank you, Janki Ben. I also want to thank all of you for coming. I know it's a wonderful day outside and it's tempting to go and do things, but yet here all of you are meeting Daddy. So thank all of you. Also all of you online. I've just got noticed that we have about 6,300 viewers on Facebook. So that's a huge number. And on the separate website, an additional 200, so that makes 6,500 viewers online. So also, thank all of you. I also want to thank all of those who made this program possible, the sound team, the ones who organized the program, and of course, Jonathan and Jill for the wonderful music. That before you leave, we always get some toli. Now, for those of you who don't know what toli is, it's a little sweet that we give out, and the legend has it that if you take this sweet, only sweet things will come out of your mouth. Only sweet words. So please don't go away. You will get some toli, either from Daddy or from Janki Ben. And during the program also, Daddy mentioned about drishti. Yeah? So when you come up to get toli, please take drishti. So drishti is that this vision, this connection between souls. So when you come up to Daddy, look straight into her eyes and have that inner connection, soul-to-soul connection with Daddy as you come up. Yeah? So this is what we call drishti. So like she mentioned in the program, that it gives you strength, it gives you that connection with the other soul. So please pay attention on that as you come forward and take your toli. Yeah, and along with the toli, you will get a little blessing card. So please don't go.